You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Philip Kaufman, filling in for Julia Wiegand. Teachers were hired and a building was purchased. We've got all those details and more from last night's Hazleton Area School Board meeting. It may not have been a long meeting, but there were certainly some big items on the agenda for the Hazleton Area School Board. One of those big items made during the meeting was the announcement of the district purchasing the Gans Cable TV Incorporated building at 1059 East 10th Street in Hazel Township.
The board approved the finalization of purchasing the Gans building. We'll utilize that for EI, pre-K, warehouse, technology will go into a portion of the building. We obviously have to do a little bit of renovations to make classrooms and things of that nature, but we're really excited about the expansion. We need the space. This fall is going to be telling on what students are returning. We're coming back at 100%, and that's my plan. So we still need to figure out exactly how many students are going to return in person, but we're definitely going to need the space. So the GANs will certainly help us in that area.
But don't worry, folks, this does not affect WYLN. We will continue our operations and provide local programming, news, and live sporting events. We are proud to serve our community. Along with the purchase of the building, teachers were hired and budgets were approved.
Tonight we actually hired some teachers to fill some of the spots that are being vacated by our long-deserved retirees. We're definitely going to miss them, and they're going to be big shoes to fill. So we were able to fill some of those positions basically at the secondary level at this time. We do have some elementary positions that are going to come up, and we're going to hire for that in July. On tonight's agenda, there were some other contracts and things like that needed to be approved as we do yearly. Some additional contracts that we're looking at to help with cybersecurity in the district and things of that nature. But all in all, it was a quick meeting and a good meeting.
And while we had Superintendent Uplinger, we also discussed the retirement of Principal Rocco Petrone and the hiring of the high school's new principal.
Certainly, Rocky's going to be missed. He's been here for a long time. I couldn't even tell you how many years, but he's been principal for 12 years in the high school, well before I've been here. He's done a fantastic job, and like I said, he'll definitely be missed. We have Dr. Anthony Constant coming in to fill those big shoes. We're excited for that as well. He's going to do a phenomenal job in the position.
And a reminder for all those looking to get outside this weekend, the class of 2021 graduates will also be having a parade this weekend to honor their graduation.
Yeah, we're excited about that as well. Celebrate our students again one last time as they leave us. It's a little bit farther out from when graduation was, but that's the only time we were able to schedule it because of manpower in the city, having the police department and a fire department and EMS, everybody available for us to celebrate the seniors. So that we're going to do that on the 26th at noon. The route's already established, but we're definitely excited about that.
The world watched today as former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin faced his sentencing. Chauvin was convicted in April on charges of second-degree unintentional murder, second-degree manslaughter, and third-degree murder. Chauvin kneeled on the neck of 46-year-old George Floyd for nearly 9 minutes after Floyd was arrested under suspicion of using counterfeit money at a convenience store back on May 25th of last year. The incident sparked protest and rallies throughout the country calling for justice against police brutality. Sentencing Judge Peter Cahill heard brief statements from attorneys on both sides, as well as victim impact statements and Derek Chauvin's own mother. Judge Cahill sentenced Chauvin to 22.5 years for the death of George Floyd. The Pennsylvania Department of Health will be lifting the universal masking order on Monday, June 28th. However, Acting Secretary of Health Allison Beam said that businesses, organizations, healthcare providers, and other entities that can still require employees, guests, or customers to wear masks regardless of their vaccination status. The department also urges residents to follow CDC guidelines for mask wearing where required by law for the protection of themselves and others. According to the CDC vaccine tracker, nearly 75% of Pennsylvanians ages 18 and older received their first dose as of today, while 59% are fully vaccinated. Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassat is one of 7 mayors asking the state legislature to repeal Act 43. When Act 43 passed to make it legal to sell aerial fireworks in Pennsylvania back in 2017, and the state added an additional 12% sales tax to the original 6% in order to increase state revenue, Cassat wrote a letter asking for its repeal alongside mayors from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pittston, Nanticoke, Williamsport, and Kingston after residents complained about the constant use of fireworks from morning to night, not just on the holidays. The mayors pointed out the adverse effects that fireworks have on those suffering with PTSD, as well as the elderly, young children, and pets. They're also asking lawmakers to restrict the use of consumer-grade fireworks and requesting that municipalities be permitted to set their own fireworks regulations. It's time for doubleheader weekend at the Tricky Triangle. And the historic corner of the Pocono Mountains, featuring over 1,000 acres and a 2.5-mile superspeedway, is officially back at full capacity. The Pocono Raceway is more than ready to welcome thousands of the nation's most passionate racing fans back to Long Pond for their 50th anniversary. NASCAR is bringing its top 3 series to Pocono this weekend, with the highlight being back-to-back Cup Series races. In all, 5 races over 3 days will feature a scheduled 500 laps or 1,250 miles of racing, with 77,000 fans expected to pack the grandstands to max capacity. Visit PoconoRaceway.com to find more on this weekend's schedule and all the details. Coming up on Wyln News, there's more Beyond the Reef. Plus, when it comes to Little League Baseball, anything can happen. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and the forecast for tomorrow is partly cloudy.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
SEOUL Spaceman on Wyln TV 35. Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 4, Sundays at 9.
Hey guys, it's Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton. I don't know where you're going to find a nice, good quality pre-owned truck. The word on the street is you can't find them anywhere. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Did I tell you we're at Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton? And I'm sure if you look hard enough for a used truck and go to a nice dealership that has inventory, you'll be able to find a pretty good selection. But the word on the street is you can't find any. So why don't you come here to Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton and find out where we take the deals and have the trucks the other guys don't.
If you've been thinking about adopting a pet, well, there's no time like the present. So, check out the SPCA of Luzerne County for all breeds, shapes, and sizes of pets. The shelter has some more furry friends for you to check out this week. Everyone, meet Piccolo. She's a young adult pretty girl who's always up for some fun. She's currently hanging out at the shelter until she finds her new forever home. And up next is Poppy. She's a 6-year-old Australian Shepherd and Doberman mix who's on the hunt for a new home. She's great with other dogs, cats, and children. She's a bit timid around new people, so the shelter's asking potential adopters to let her go at her own pace when they meet her in person. Call 570-825-4111 to come on down and check out these featured pets and more while the shelter continues adopting out new best friends amid the pandemic. Whether you're a Disney fan or lover of the arts, you'll want to add checking out PTPA's latest show to your planner. I had the pleasure of returning to PTPA to get a sneak peek of what's to come this weekend. Hello folks, we're here at PTPA, the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts, and we are joined by Samantha Sugar, and we are talking about an upcoming show this weekend. PTPA is a personal stomping ground of yours truly, and it's great to be back here and with Samantha, who I've known for a pretty long time. But coming up is their kids show. It's going to be a soft open for the theater after a long time of not running any shows. So why don't we just talk about how it feels to be open and getting this off and the show that's coming our way.
Absolutely. So we are opening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with Moana Jr. And it's kind of surreal being back in the building again with people, our board members and things like that. We're coming in during COVID, trying to just make sure that things stayed maintained and just to keep up with some of the daily operations. But now having parents and especially cast members, kids, the staff coming in every day, it definitely feels amazing again.
Over the course of COVID, the kids program for PTPA went through a rebranding process.
It's now titled the PTPA Playground, and those workshops run a little bit differently. So kids can sign up, anybody can register, and within the people who register, we then hold auditions. The program usually runs 2 to 3 months, give or take, and then we put on a show for one weekend. The kids get everything included. They come in, they get their costumes, their set, all that kind of stuff provided for them. And we still kind of hold it kind of like we do at Main Stage. Anybody can come in and buy tickets. It's open to the public, and they get a little bit of an experience where they get to be the featured leading roles, not just playing necessarily children's parts and ensemble, things like that, but they kind of get a little chance in the spotlight as well.
And following the Moana show, if you're interested in getting your child involved, there's another opportunity coming towards the end of the summer as well.
We are just announcing actually our summer camp program. So we normally get it started a little bit earlier, but of course with COVID procedure and everything like that, we tried to wait a little bit just to double check that everything was going to work out well. But we are holding it up at City View Park this summer. It is the second week of August, I believe, and students will actually get a free ticket to Something Rotten, which is also our grand reopening Main Stage production later on this summer, and then they'll get to have a small performance on the set where Something Rotten performs at the end of the week.
For those interested in getting your kids involved in the PTPA Playground or checking out Something Rotten this summer, you can get in contact with the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts to become a part of the experience.
The best place to find everything is on our website, ptpashows.org, and we also have events created on Facebook as well. And you can always call our box office, 454-5451, and we actually have a brand new ticketing site up, so you can actually purchase your tickets online now. We're trying to kind of eliminate any of that additional unnecessary contact if we can, but that way everybody can kind of go online and purchase their tickets as they want.
WYLN's all-time OT hero, Marty Burns, has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. Josh Esposito is on this week representing the Valley West Little League, so let's talk sports. Here's part 5.
Your league this year has a great experience to show them that anything can happen. Your Valley Athletic Supply team was a number 5 seed in league play. You ended up defeating 2 of the top seeds to make the Valley West Little League Championship Series, forced it to a Game 3, didn't get the championship, but it goes to show, if you don't respect your opponent, anything can happen, and especially if you get yourself in the one-loss section where anything can happen when it's one game or go home, that anything can happen, especially in the game of baseball.
You can, and speaking of the regular season, it was a fantastic job by the coaches, keeping these kids calm and fired up. And the best of them came out in the playoffs. But you're exactly right. It's you never know what could happen.
And I think that's a good way to keep them tuned in and stayed focused. But in watching just 4 of the teams, we didn't get to see all the teams, all the talent that you have to pick from at Valley West. I saw a lot of depth, talent-wise, especially on the mound where you can come at teams either right-handed or left-handed. And your boys seem to be tall. It seems like a lot of, if you're in the batter's box, a lot of arms and legs before you even see that baseball. And especially your son, we saw a lefty that pitched for Maylas. He came from the left side, and he seemed to hide the ball nicely. To have that depth, especially pitching-wise, talk about how that's a big asset for you.
Being as deep as we are with our pitching, we have the opportunity at any point to throw any one of those boys out there and work them. If they can get us through 3-4 good innings, bring somebody else in to close, and we're confident that they're going to pick each other up. But being able to have 6-7 pitchers that at any point can go,
right,
definitely is a benefit.
And be sure to check out this week's entire half hour of Let's Talk Sports, Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m., and again Sunday at noon and 5:30 p.m. Coming up on Partysville's News Choice, your week in review, courtesy of our Julia Wiegand. Plus, leading the way into this week's final segment. Stay with us.
Hey, Dr. Alex here with another Feel Good Friday. So today we're talking about sleep positions. It's very, very important that you sleep in a good position so that your back doesn't get thrown off and you get more restful sleep. So first off, there's problems with every sleep position, and some people have a lot of trouble being in a good sleep position because of bad habits. So for example, if your neck's really bad to one side because you've been sleeping on your stomach a lot, it might feel unnatural to sleep with your head in a normal position. It's good to get adjusted to avoid that, by the way, so you can sleep better and healthier. Anyway, the best sleep position is on your back with a big pillow under your knees to take out the curvature in your low back so that you don't get low back pain. Second best is on your side. Either side works, but left side is a little bit better. And when you do this, you need to keep two things in mind. You need to have a pillow for your neck to support your neck so that you're not leaning over too far, and then a pillow between your knees for your hip's sake, and that'll help you feel good.
Hi, I'm Marty Burns, host of a new show here on WYLN, Let's Talk Sports. We're going to talk between our basketball and football seasons. We're going to talk to coaches, guests about past seasons, events coming up, different types of things sports related. It's all going to be here on Let's Talk Sports, and you'll be able to see it here on WYLN.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Chura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazelton, 570-454-7229.
Monday. A teenager involved in a Hazelton hit and run died from his injuries last Friday afternoon. 15-year-old Hector Padilla was struck by a pickup truck back on June 12th while riding his bicycle on South Poplar Street. Padilla was taken to a regional trauma center in extremely critical condition and was pronounced dead Friday afternoon at Lehigh Valley Hospital Cedar Crest. Authorities say the driver involved in the incident fled the scene in what was later determined as a white 2007 to 2014 Chevy Silverado with an extended cab. The vehicle should also have damage to the passenger's side front end and possibly the passenger headlight. Anyone with information is still being asked to contact the Hazelton Police Department or dial 911. Tuesday. Former West Hazelton Police Chief Brian Buglio pled guilty to a civil rights violation. Buglio allegedly threatened West Hazelton resident Paul DiLorenzo with criminal charges in retaliation for derogatory social media posts he made about Buglio and the West Hazelton Police Department. The United States Attorney's Office of the Middle District of Pennsylvania announced back in May that Buglio was facing charges. Buglio signed a plea agreement last month, which recommends he receive a sentence of 0 to 6 months in prison because of his cooperation in the investigation. Wednesday. Several people were taken into custody for allegedly operating a meth ring in the Hazelton area. State Police and the Office of the Attorney General began investigating meth sales surrounding 38-year-old Angela Ruggiero back in October. She was allegedly selling large quantities of meth, primarily out of a garage at the rear of 1038 P Street in Hazel Township. Ruggiero was charged, along with James Draub, Bernard Lamont, Austin Calarco, Adrian O'Donnell, and Stanley Sabato. Ruggiero faces charges of corrupt organizations, manufacture, delivery, or possession with intent to deliver, and conspiracy charges. She was denied bail after being considered a flight risk, while all the other defendants were taken to prison for lack of $250,000 each. Thursday. A search warrant in Hazleton led to the arrest of one person and uncovered around 8 pounds of marijuana. State police executed the warrant at the home of 29-year-old Ariel Fernandez at 619 West 6th Street. Police found the marijuana packaged for resale in a third-floor bedroom. They also seized cash, drug packaging materials, a digital scale, and a loaded 9mm handgun. Fernandez was charged with manufacture, delivery, or possession with intent to deliver, and criminal use of a communication facility. Bail was set at $25,000, which Fernandez posted through a bondsman. Friday. The Hazleton Area School Board dealt with a packed agenda for their short but eventful meeting Thursday night. Teachers were hired, Assistant Principal Tony Constance taking over as high school principal upon Rocco Patron's retirement, and the class of 2021 will be having a parade this weekend for graduates. The district also announced that it purchased the Gans building at 1057 East 10th Street in Hazel Township. Hey, wait a second, that's our address. But this, however, does not affect WYLN, and we'll be continuing our operations by providing local programming, news, and live sporting events. We are proud to serve our community, so from all of us here at WYLN, we want to take some time to thank all of our viewers and Facebook followers tuning in daily for all of the latest news and information. Here's to a new chapter at WYLN TV. That's it for your week in review, here on WYLN News.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network. Drama in Motion Performance Works presents Fiddler on the Roof at the Performance Works Factory Theater, 15 School Street in Nuremberg. Check out this fantastic production by getting your tickets online at dmpwshows.org. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Kathy Bestwick is leading the way into this week's final segment.
And welcome back to this week's final segment of Leading the Way with co-president of the Hazleton Art League, Kathy Bestwick. Fast forwarding toward the future, what's in store for the Hazleton Art League?
Well, we have a gallery program, so we plan on having a different art exhibit in our huge, beautiful gallery every month. And that will coincide, the opening of the exhibit will coincide with DHAP's First Friday. So there'll be lots of fun things to do on the first Friday in Hazleton. And the exhibits then stay up all month, and then there's a new one. So on the educational side, we have a children's classroom, an adult classroom, a clay studio, and a glass studio. So all 4 of those are being developed with programming. We have a fall session, a spring session, and a summer session for adult classes, and same with children's. In the summer, we're starting a brand new, huge summer camp program. So that will be running 8 weeks. In addition to that, this is brand new and something I've never done before. We have an incubator kitchen in the New Art League. So it's a licensed kitchen, and it's an incubator for any new businesses that want to develop. So people can rent for a certain number of hours, a month, a week, use our kitchen, and then it fulfills their license requirements for their small business. So we really hope it's a great incubator for the city of Hazleton and its residents. The other thing that we do a lot of work on is at this point we have 2 major events a year. We have the AYE, the Art Youth Expo, which just finished up. Yes. It's actually in the gallery now, so if you have time you can come down and see what the emerging artists of our community are doing. So it's open to people aged 13 to 30, and there's some fabulous work to be seen in the gallery right now. The other large community project that we do is called Peace, Love, Chalk, and that's in coordination with Joe Madden. And he got this idea, he saw it in another city and said, oh, I want that for Hazleton. So people come and do chalk drawings, and we actually work with Chamber of Commerce on that. And we were having that on the same date as Fun Day. So it's just an added thing for people to come downtown and see what's going on in town. And you can see all the artists actually making art on the street.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in all week, and an even bigger thanks to our guest Kathy here for coming in to give us some of her backstory.
Well, thank you for having me.
Anytime. Have a great weekend, everyone. Best of luck, best of life. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or at WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LPHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN-TV.